James Baldwin said that to be black in America is to live in a state of constant rage. That is not healthy. We are in a situation where we're constantly under attack. We're constantly under a microscope. Doing anything while black can be dangerous and can often be deadly. We're in a situation where we have to stop and realize that as a group, as a community, we need to take time to heal.
Not being an ally to your oppressor, not aiding in your own oppression. We don't know nothing about that. Look at our Friday video. If you haven't checked out our breakdown on Friday, go look at our Friday video. The lady is sitting there trying to rewrite history at the lights. Black people in America, Black American slaves benefited from slavery. Okay. But that's the mental job, because she is dependent upon white supremacy for her survival. She is dependent upon white supremacy for her validation. She isn't someone if white people don't say she is, which is a problem and the problem. These observations regarding the colonized disposition to work could also be applied to the colonized attitude toward the colonizer's laws, his taxes, and the colonial system. Under a colonial regime, gratitude, sincerity, and honor are hollow words. Over recent years, I've had the opportunity to verify the fundamental fact that honor, dignity, and integrity are only truly evident in the context of national and international unity. As soon as you and your fellow men are cut down like dogs, there is no other solution but to use every means available to reestablish your weight as a human being. You must therefore weigh as heavy as possible on your own torturous body, so that his wits, which have wandered off somewhere, can at least be restored to their human dimension. During the course of recent years, I have had the opportunity to witness the extraordinary examples of honor, self-sacrifice, and love and disregard for death in Algeria at war. And he's talking about real freedom fighters, people who understand their position and where they are and where they're trying to be, rather than the people who are looking at their individual position and trying to find a safe place within trying to find a safe place for their individual selves within the confines of white supremacy, which is the problem. The elite, the bourgeoisie, the nationalist, the educated class, the talented 10th, the him. We love white people, right? Hey man, look, I'm an HBCU graduate. I grew up on the HBCU. I'm still on the HBCU campus at least once a week. I do not get down with the HBCU bourgeois because they hold us back. Bougie black folk hold us back. Bougie black folk who want to be accepted by white people hold us back. But remember, their minds are messed up. That doesn't mean that we have grace on them. Nah, I don't believe in that situation. Now, you want to be a sellout? We ain't having grace, but understand why they selling out. One of the characteristics of the Algerian people established by colonialism is their appalling criminality. Prior to 1954, magistrates, police, lawyers, and journalists and medical examiners were unanimous that the Algerians' criminality posed a problem. The Algerian, it was claimed, was a born criminal. A theory was elaborated and scientific proof was furnished. This theory was taught at universities for more than 20 years. Algerian medical students received this education, and slowly and imperceptibly, the elite, after having consented to colonialism, consented to the natural defects of the Algerian people, born idlers, born liars, born thieves, and born criminals. See, they believe through their so-called scientific research that black people are just low lives. We are natural low lives. And without them, without the gracious white people, oh my God, without white people coming to save us, we'd have just eliminated ourselves. It's no wonder how the hell that all these black people not killed themselves off before white people got there. All these elements focalizing on Yeah, that do say focalizing. That's funny. All these elements focalizing on Algerian criminality appeared sufficiently evident to support an attempted at systemization. Since similar, though less implicit, observations had been conducted in Tunisia and Morocco, reference was increasingly made to a North African criminality. For more than 30 years, under the constant direction of Professor Perrault, professor of psychiatry at the Faculty of Algiers, several teams worked on defending this criminality's mode of expression and offering a sociological, functional, and anatomical interpretation. The main research work for the question conducted by the psychiatric school of the Faculty of Algiers will be the basis for our conclusions. Research findings conducted over more than a 20-year period were subject, we recall, of lectures given by the chair of psychiatry. Consequently, the Algerian doctors who graduated from the Faculty of Algiers were forced to hear and learn that the Algerian is a born criminal. Moreover, I remember one of us in all seriousness expounding these theories he had learned and adding, it's hard to swallow, but it's been scientifically proved. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. The North African is a criminal. His predatory instinct a known fact, and his unwillingly aggressiveness visible to the naked eye. The North African loves extreme, so you can never entirely trust him. Today, and just close your eyes and imagine me replacing North African with Black American. Today, your best friend, tomorrow, your worst enemy. He is immune to nuances. He is fundamentally foreign. It says Cartesianism. Cartesianism is fundamentally foreign to him, and moderation. A sense of proportion and level-headedness are contrary to his inner nature. The North African is violent, hereditarily violent. He finds it impossible to discipline himself and channel his instincts. Yes, the Black American is congenitally impulsive. See what I could do there? But they kill us. This impulsiveness is highly aggressive and generally suicidal. This explains, they say, the unorthodox behavior of the melancholic Algerian. French psychiatrists in Algeria were faced with a difficult problem. They had been trained to fear tendencies in a patient suffering from melancholia. The melancholic Algerian, however, this disorder of the moral conscience, which is now always accompanied by self-accusation and suicidal tendencies, in the Algerian takes the shape of suicidal instincts. The Algerian suffering from melancholia does not commit. This is homicidal and melancholia elaborated by Professor Perrault in the thesis of his pupil Montserrat. So they are saying that the Algerians have these mental disorders because they are naturally impulsive, naturally melancholic, naturally, but they don't have a lot of information. They have information of them attacking each other or even attacking white people. How does the Algerian school account for this anomaly? Firstly, according to the school of Algiers, oneself is tantamount to examining one's own feeling, looking at oneself and practicing introspection. The Algerian, however, rebels against his inner feelings, right? There is no inner life in the North African. On the contrary, the North African rids himself of his troubles by attacking the people around him. He has no sense of analysis. Since by definition, melancholia is a disorder of the moral conscience, it is obvious the Algerian can only develop pseudo-melancholias given the unreliability of his conscience and the fickleness of his moral sense. This incapacity of the Algerian to analyze the situation, to organize a mental paranormal makes perfect sense if we refer to the two types of casually proposed by the French psychiatrist. First of all, his mental capacity. The Algerian is mentally. If we want to fully understand this basic point of departure, we must recall the seminology elaborated by the school of Algiers. The native, it says, present in the following characteristics: complete or almost complete lack of emotionality, highly credulous and suggestible, doggedly stubborn, childlike mentally minus the curiosity of the European child, prone to accidents and pathologic reactions. The Algerian is unable to grasp an overall picture. The questions he asks himself are always concerned with details and rule out any synthesis. He's pointillistic, attracted to objects, lost in details, insensitive to ideas, and closed to concepts. Verbal expression is reduced to a minimum. His movements are always impulsive and aggressive, and capable of interpreting details on the basis of the overall picture. The Algerian absolutizes the component and takes one part of the whole. As a consequence, his reactions are generalizing when confronted with minor provocations or trivialities, such as a fig tree, a jester, or a sheep on his hand. The congenital aggressiveness looks for outlets and is content with the slightest pretext. It is aggressiveness in the pure state.